Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Star-Lord based off of the film Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And really quickly, before I continue, if my voice sounds just a little bit deep, I do apologize. It's just allergies, they're just kind of killing me a little bit. So if my voice sounds a little low, that's why. And I also want to apologize because this video was supposed to go out on Friday, but due to some, certain delays and all that, I had to kind of had to delay it. But without further ado, we could finally get right onto the review because it's been a pretty long time since I reviewed a Marvel Legends figure. I want to say, oops, sorry about that. I want to say maybe it's been like a month now, which yeah. Let me shut up so we could start the review. So before I go ahead, of course we gotta talk about everyone's favorite thing about these figures is the plastic-free packaging that has pretty much broiled Hasbro into like not like non-stop, like not just controversy, but obviously because you can't really see the figure in the inside, you don't really know what's inside of it. And then of course these boxes can get beat up pretty easily, so I'm just gonna kind of move on, just, well, not move on, but like kind of zoom in just a little bit more, fix up my camera just a little bit, just to show you how the boxes look, just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect if you decide to go out and buy yourself a couple of these figures, because this is a pretty cool wave for the most part. This for the Build-A-Figure in this wave, it's Cosmos, which is literally just a dog in an astronaut suit. I mean, if that's not funny, I don't know what is. Then, of course, it shows off the list of the other figures that you need to collect in order to build Cosmo. And as you might or might not have noticed, yeah, Star-Lord does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece. The only thing that he comes with is just his guns, and that's about it. And then, of course, that's pretty average for, Marvel Legends waves, where there's always going to be that one figure that doesn't come with anything. So, that's fine, and it's all dandy, so it's all good. But then again, unfortunately, yeah, because of the whole, high prices and all that, yeah, the lack of accessories, it's definitely gonna hurt figures like these, and it's unfortunate because you got this, you got look how cool this looks. The artwork, I mean, this looks so nice. As much as we all hate these boxes and all that, though, you gotta admit at least they put effort into it, and you got this nice bright colors going on in the figure itself, which is great. So let's take a look at the bottom. It says plastic free packaging. It's hilarious. All right. There you go. And yeah, all right. So let me just set my camera down. Let me just fix it up a little bit. Let me pause just for a sec. There we go. Finally. So and real quickly before I talk about like the whole aesthetic of the figure, I do want to give a little bit of a compliment for the decisions that the filmmakers make when it comes to the costumes, because I think it's really cool that they've decided to kind of give them comic book accurate costumes, which is very rare in the MCU. The whole point, obviously, is that the characters don't have to look exactly like their comic book counterparts, but when they do, I think they definitely pull it off very well with this wave. Well, I shouldn't really say wave, but you guys get the point. I think it was an interesting decision to do that because their costumes designs were very distinct in the film. It was definitely far away from how they looked in the comic books, and honestly, that's an understatement even in itself, considering that a lot of people, including myself to a certain degree, kind of agree that the movies are generally a lot more better than the comics, which I don't know if that's a controversial statement, but that's what I hear a lot of people say. And it's not hard to see why, because the films had sort of a kind of crazy charm. And I should have probably also mentioned this earlier that I have not seen the film. So, and definitely, yeah, I'm going to keep it spoiler free for sure, because I know that this was kind of sort of supposed to be the last film in the series, although that doesn't mean that the Guardians of the Galaxy won't be in the MCU anymore. That doesn't mean that, obviously. It just means that I guess their story kind of ends, and a lot of other crazy stuff too, which don't worry, I'm not going to get too much into that. So I'll talk a little bit more about the figure. So of course, let's talk a little bit about the details. If this camera's brightness, okay, all right, that's okay. Yeah, he was looking a little bit more yellow right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the paint job overall is good. It's decent. for what it is, because I do have to mention that in the movies, their costumes are a little more darker. This is actually on the more brighter side, which I'll be honest, to me, it's not a negative. I don't really care. Some people obviously might not like that. I understand that they want the figures to be a lot more accurate, especially considering the high prices for these. You know, you're paying well, like I think like maybe like $24.99 for these, which is pretty expensive for what it is. And mind you, oh, look at that butt. Anyway, and yeah, it is pretty expensive. Also considering that, unfortunately, yeah, there are parts being reused here from older figures. Not mostly in the legs, not really anywhere else. Definitely, when it comes to the Star-Lord figure that came out during the core Build-A-Figure wave, which is based off the film Thor: Love and Thunder. I got both Star-Lords right here. Wow, what a difference. Wow, that's incredible. Usually I don't do these comparisons till like the end of the video, but you know, and you can definitely see a pretty huge difference. Hold on, I gotta fix that foot. There we go. Actually, let me zoom out just a little bit. Actually, no, let me just. There we go. So yeah, so as you could kind of see, their legs are almost the same. There are some differences going on here. Obviously, not counting paint. You know, of course, the paint's gotta be a little more different. It's kind of hard to tell because he got the jacket in the way. Well, not the jacket, but the coat thing, whatever you want to call it. So you can kind of see they're pretty much the same. Obviously, this whole leg portion, but that's about it. There's no other reuse besides that. Well, let me see. Maybe except for the hands, maybe. Okay, maybe except for the hands, but you get the point. It's mostly it's mostly a new figure, so it's all right. Everything's a-okay, you know. And I mean, look, it is a Marvel Legends after all. I mean, at least you got the nice sort of posability. You got the double arm joints, double leg joints. You can also kind of move that far. His head can move up that far, move that down, far down. Let me see. Yep. I mean, he's very pulsable. Very, very pulsable. I mean, I always forget how many points of articulation these figures have, because I know most of them are kind of the same, but they're always sort of a slight difference. I mean, he's posable, but he's not like Spider-Man posable. I mean, those figures find a way to bend in ways that are just like surprising. But, you know, obviously, you know, he's a pretty simple character when it comes to that aspect. Although that doesn't mean that you won't be able to get any cool poses with it. You definitely can. You know, so there you go. You got him kind of standing there. Stands very good. You know, had no problems. In fact, he's nice and solid. There's no loose parts except for maybe the head bobbling a little bit. But it doesn't feel broken, you know. I mean, you can still pretty much toss him around and stuff, and it's all good, you know. And we go. Just kind of fix him up a little bit. Oh, I don't know why my camera's doing that. Come on. Here we go. So, here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. So how does he look with his weapons? Well, let's find out. So like I said, because he does not come with Build-A-Figure piece, he only comes with his blasters. And obviously, as you could tell by the design of them, they are very, very different from the ones that he uses in the previous films, just to get a good idea. This is what he used to use a lot in the past, so I'll be honest, I don't really know too much of the correlation behind this. I mean, maybe he just so happened to get a new gun, some new designs. Maybe it's not like a super serious plot point. Because trust me, I try my best to keep up with the MCU, and for the most part I have, but obviously when they start throwing in like the Disney Plus TV shows in the mix, and you know, it does get a lot and a little bit overwhelming. Kind of ironic considering that they do plan on trying to slow down a little bit with the TV shows, which I think is good, you know, for pacing reasons. But then again, we're not talking about the films. We gotta talk about the figures. And there we go. They got some very nice, beautiful detail going on with the. Oops. Well, okay. There we go. See the blaster. Got like a. See the nice silver paint going on. This sort of grayish, very, very dirt gray kind of color. It's not deep gray, but you kind of get the point. I've noticed that texture too around the weapons. I don't know if that was intentional. I mean, I don't see that weird texture thing going on with the rest of the gun. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. It got like the weird lines going on. It's probably not a big, huge deal, you know. I mean, I don't know if that's like a thing with like, you know, like the factories and all that when they make these. I mean, probably not, but it's not a huge big deal. But they are pretty good. Cool. Took a look at both of them so far. They're both good condition. Doesn't really seem to be any kind of messed up paint. I like how shiny that kind of looks too, which is weird because it's not like a super duper shiny paint job, but does it pretty well. I mean, I wish you could kind of see the like the tip of the blasters. That's the only thing. It does look a little bit like, I don't know, not melted, but it does look a little off, but it's not a huge deal. And I guess it's interesting when you compare it to the other blaster. Where is it? I just had it. Okay, there we go. There we go. I found it. See how weird it is when you kind of compare it to the other one. I'm kind of curious if the paint job changed throughout the toy line, because I know that Marvel Legends is kind of weird like that. I mean, you did just saw the weird reuse with the legs, so what else is new? Just to kind of give a bit of comparison, they're both relatively the same. Well, this one is maybe slightly more bigger. This one definitely resembles more of a gun, though, than anything. And I do apologize if I'm just calling it a blaster. I don't really remember these things have a name, but I don't know. Look at that, more detail. Look at that, nice. All right, so let's see how he looks with them. So I'm gonna put my camera back up, and I probably mentioned this during my Ultra Monster Series Dino Tank review. I did got a new tripod, and it's decent for the most part. Still got to work out a couple of things with it. Obviously, it's not perfect. Kind of gets the job done, at least with the review, so that's pretty good. And yeah, he looks really great with the blasters. Look at that. Okay, there we go. Just kind of fix that up. There we go. So you see, you can definitely pull off some really cool poses with it. If I can kind of get him to stand up. There we go. Oops. I am sorry, guys. I am very, very rusty today. But it happens. There we go. Alrighty. That looks great. So, of course... Okay, that's more like it. Okay. It was just my setup, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, it's a really good figure, I mean, I like it. I guess I don't really have any sort of issues with it. I don't have any kind of negatives. I mean, I kind of wish maybe he came with like maybe alternative hands. I wish he could have came with his helmet too. Because I know that that's like very popular with him, with how he looks with the helmet. And I'm pretty sure he does use it in the movie. I mean, from what I've seen from the trailers, like I say, I haven't really seen the film, so I can't really say for sure how it's gonna look on him. And I would do a comparison, but unfortunately, I only own two Star Lords in the collection. This one and the one, from Thor: Love and Thunder, who I'm gonna pull out right now for my comparison, because that's what I do towards the end of these videos. And yeah, you can see he got like his kind of. There we go. This is what he mostly wears throughout the MCU, so that's why I wanted to kind of compare the whole thing with his costume. It's kind of ironic that he's smiling considering that he was so miserable during his short time on Thor: Love and Thunder, because, there's this kind of whole thing with him and Gamora, and long story short, she dies in Infinity War, but, because of the whole timeline situation in Endgame, she returns, but it's not the same Gamora from before. I know that's definitely going to be like a huge plot within the movie itself. And of course, let me just kind of show how he looks into the side. My OCD is going nuts right now because technically this came out first before this one, so I was supposed to review him before I reviewed this version. But it is what it is. I mean, everybody voted to see this version of Star-Lord, so I wanted to respect that. And I just noticed there is a slight difference with the height, but not that much. Huh. Okay, that's cool. He grew like a... I guess he grew a bit of an inch. I mean, it does look kind of weird, though. I mean, you could kind of see the arms. The weird length that it kind of goes in. Oh, don't get me wrong. I like this figure, too. Don't get me wrong. He looks really cool. It's just the face that I don't really like that much because, like I said, I feel like it doesn't really match him very well. This figure definitely matches his characteristics very well and his facial expressions and even, the hair. I think it does a lot more better than this version. Like I say, not a bad figure, but this one's definitely a lot more better, which is a huge plus for me at least. I mean, yeah, barely any accessories, I know. And at least he did came with a Build-A-Figure. I think he came with an arm, if I remember correctly. But, and then again, it is a pretty old wave. That came out like, what, 2021? Honestly, I don't even know. The whole entire movie, all in all, was just nuts. And of course, I'm not the only one to say that. But actually, one really quick detail I want to mention. So here I have. I'm gonna. Come on, I got an old school Marvel Legends right here. I got freaking Mr. Fantastic from like 2009. He came in a 2-pack with Thing. Just wanted to do a bit of a comparison. Yeah, he doesn't stand up well with that giant, huge, stretchy arm of his. So the reason why I wanted to bring him out, it's because when I was mentioning the whole reuse of the figure, I've kind of noticed the year underneath his foot. It says Marvel 2022, which is ironic because these legs have been reused a lot in the past, even way further back than 2022. And even when it comes to this version of Star-Lord that I just showed you guys too, I mean his also said 2022. So okay, so I guess I made that mistake. So this did came out 2022. And the reason why I wanted to mention that is because this figure, it very obviously reuses some parts from the old Toy Biz waves. Back in like maybe 2005 or so. But because this figure came out in like 2008 or 2009, I've noticed on his thighs it actually does say 2008. So it's like a weird rehash. It's like they're reusing parts, but then they kind of print in the year. So I just thought I'd bring that up because I thought that was interesting. And of course, let's compare it to other figures, right? So let's show them compared with Ant-Man, the astonishing Ant-Man based off of the comics. He looks really cool. I like this figure a lot. I will definitely do a review of him if you guys want me to, for sure. Just to kind of thought I'd show you guys because this is a Target exclusive. And then of course here he is compared to Dino Tank, which was the figure I already reviewed. Based off of the Bandai's Ultra Monster series. And last but definitely not least, I don't know, a cocktail from the Tracksuit Mafia. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna end this video, and yeah, it's pretty good. I give it like a good maybe 9 out of 10. The reason why I don't really give it perfect score is because obviously when it comes to the paint, there are some kind of weird stuff with it. Although it's not really much of a big huge difference, it still nails all the details. It still looks like Star Lord. Weapons are nice. Posability is pretty good. And yeah, can't really complain honestly. And I also, I do apologize. I was maybe a little bit rusty throughout this whole video, but like I mentioned, I got a little bit of some allergies going on. So hopefully in the next review I'll feel a lot more better. I don't know who I'm gonna review next though. That's the only bad thing. I'm not 100% sure. It might be another Marvel Legends review. Might be another Ultraman figure. Not too sure yet. But until then, hope you guys kind of sort of enjoyed the video. I know it's very very late. By the time this review comes out, it's probably gonna be like, hold up. Come on, I just gave you a compliment, Star-Lord. Don't make me take it back. Hold up. You're lucky you're a fun figure, man. So yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not sure who's gonna be the next runner-up. I'll do another voting poll like I did last time, and we'll go from there. So, like I said, hope you guys kind of enjoyed the review. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more, and that's about it. See ya.